familiarity with Coach Petrino. Is the playbook about the same as it was at Missouri State, and how was it kind of getting back into it with him, after you were at Fresno for a bit?
To be honest, I didn't know I knew the playbook that well. When they started speaking it again, it was just all came back to my memory. They got some new stuff that I have to get a grasp on, but everything else, man, has been pretty good. So that's why the first 2 days I've been able to play fast and just play myself.
Steven, reflecting on last season for you, just how do you feel like the season went for you, and what goals do you have for yourself, whether it's for this spring or looking ahead to next season?
I would say anytime that I put up better numbers than the year I did before is really good, but to see that I did it at a higher level, obviously the SEC, the best, conference in my opinion in college football, it really shows the growth that I've had. Honestly, I'm just looking to expand more, to just get better at the little things. I have a lot of experience, kind of lock in on those, intricate details that I may think are like pretty simple, but just mastering it, doing it till I just can't get it wrong. So I think that's really just the main thing for me, just trying to be as consistent as I can and get better any way I can possibly.
Raylen, you've kind of gone up a level, I guess, Montana State, Fresno State, Arkansas. What's been the biggest adjustment from each level, and what would you say is the biggest jump?
To be honest, that's a hard question because I feel like my level of play has been higher than where I've been at, and I feel like now that I'm in the SEC is where I'm supposed to be. But you could say speed-wise, playing more man when you get to the FBS level, SEC level, there's a lot more man. Missouri State, it was a lot zone, cover 3, cover 4, you just have to find zones. But I feel like, being at Fresno and now being at that SEC is pretty much man, man against man. So I think that's the biggest difference, the size, I think is the biggest thing. But I've been small all my life, so it's not really a new thing to me.
Steven, there was a lot of transfer linebackers last year added to the roster, and this year there's not. Guys returning like you and Xavier, of course. But some of the younger guys like Bradley Shaw going to be asked to help more. Maybe one of the freshmen. What have you seen from some of the younger guys like Shaw, Wallace, for example? What have you seen from them? They can be able to help you.
Yeah, man. Shaw came from a system in high school where they do a lot of what we do now, which puts them ahead, light years from where most freshmen are. I think he has a chance to really separate himself, really stand up and take a huge role this year. Tavion, he just learn his ways, man. As a freshman, we've all been there. But I think really, us not needing to get linebackers just shows a strength within that room. Guys that are developing and getting better and are going to be prepared to play on Saturdays when we need them to be.
Raylen, I know all these other receivers are new to you with a new team, but have any of them kind of stood out to you as you guys have gone through a couple of practices?
My man Ishmael. I think, both of us came in the same boat of, people thought we were just going to be a role player and come in and, just have a couple 100 yards and, something like that. But he's came in and he's made a, shine at that spot, and he wants to get his spot. So, he's a young guy, but he still wants to get in and, play at his, high level.
And then I asked about the playbook already, but as far as, Coach Petrino and Coach Fouch, do they do anything differently, just kind of more in general than they did at Missouri State, or does it remind you a lot of what you did there?
They're the same people, and that's why I love them. They've never changed, they never will. And Bobby P's been the same person, Coach Fouch's been the same person, chill, laid-back guy. And so nothing's really changed. They've been doing it for years, so there's no reason to change it up now.
And Steven, you and Xavier both being back as kind of, experienced leaders in the linebacker group, just what do you guys feel like you bring as a duo together?
I think I would say for us, because, we started playing together more so along as the year went on, but I think we both just bring that tenacity, man. Like, we're both, hard-hitting linebackers. We love to get after the ball. We just love playing football, and we love, playing together, cohesively. And I think, with him and me being back and going through the spring, we're going to just build that chemistry up more so we can trust each other out there. And you're just going to see us flourish and blossom on that field, man, when we go out here for our last ride. So I think, with us coming back as leaders, man, we're going to be able to set the example for the younger guys. So when they get in the game, you won't see a difference in production. It'll be the same, and it'll be maintained throughout the whole game.
You look across the line of scrimmage, it's Raylen, who's a big back. He's trimmed down a little bit. Mike Washington's a new guy, and it looks like he's got some speed and size. What are your thoughts on them? I know you haven't gone in full pads yet, but what are your thoughts on some of those running backs on the other side of the ball?
It's SEC, man. You got to have big backs. So, to see that and see what we got in Mike, and then to see how Raylen has come along, I feel very confident. I think this spring, I mean, you ask me, I don't think we're going against any better backs than what we have here. You ask me, we're going against the best backs in the country. So, preparation-wise, that's going to get us better on defense, having those guys getting those reps in, day in and day out all through spring with the pads on, man. So, it's going to help us be better.
Raylen, we're kind of seeing a lot of new faces on the other side of the ball, defensive backs, Walker, Davila, I believe is how you say his name, some of those guys. What have you seen from some of those guys? Who makes it challenging out there for you?
I think, I don't really go against corners, but, in the nickel safety position, I think the biggest threats I usually have, you could say, is Caleb, transfer from Auburn, and then Larry. Big thing with Larry is 6'4", I'm like 5'9", so, he's really long. Things I got to learn, and he helps me tremendously blocking wise and things like that. Caleb has a lot of experience, so just knowing the game, learning leverages and things like that is the biggest part of my game that they've been helping me with. Just staying after practice, things like that, getting releases, things I can work on. So I think that's the biggest thing. Corners wise, Davila has been balling out. I think that's the big thing. He's not the biggest guy, but he wants to go get the ball. He wants to tackle. He wants to be a ball hawk. So I think everyone wants the same thing, and for us to win. And so everybody's got to do their job. So I think everyone's doing that.
We've talked about how you and Taylon go way back already, but as far as, now that you're actually in some more formal practices, even though you've been throwing together for a while, how's it been, actually being in practice with him?
I think the chemistry's there. We just got to keep stacking days every day. You keep growing, and it doesn't just come with me. It's got to come with everybody else. The chemistry's got to be with every single receiver on the field because you never know what happens. So, just getting everybody ready, and I just got to do my job and do my 111 and keep stacking.
Do you think of things like some guys wear a chip on their shoulder and stuff? You've kind of had to prove yourself. Weren't highly recruited. Go out and catch 73 passes at Montana State, at Missouri State. Sorry, at Missouri State, and then go out and catch 50 plus at Fresno State. Have you felt like you had to prove yourself, or is it just kind of keep your head down and keep working and just prove to yourself or something?
I think it's just my walk-on mentality. Not every day's promise. As a walk-on, you could be cut the next day. So I think that's just my mentality. Is like, when I get my spot, I know it can be taken tomorrow. So, just being able to go in each day and keep grinding, thinking that my spot can be taken, and you don't want that to happen. So, right now it's just to go prove myself and, get respect from my teammates. That's the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing with spring ball. It's getting that respect, knowing they can count on you. So I think that's the biggest thing. But I wouldn't say I have a chip on my shoulder. I just think that walk-on mentality has never left me and never will.
In your journey, Stephen, you went to Florida State, were highly recruited, played early, had an injury, struggled, I guess, with the depth chart, went to Marshall. Was there anything that, kind of validated things for you the way last season went, kind of having to earn your way, getting back into the starting lineup on a major college program?
I would say probably it's just a testament to, my will and my grit, just not giving up. Obviously, the career it wasn't exactly what I thought it would be, and I dealt with challenges, it was a roller coaster or whatever, but I mean, to be here now just shows, I feel like for me it's a testament how strong I am, and how much, you never know how much you can endure until you go through it. So just knowing that I'm capable and proving to myself that, was what's proving to my teammates that, I belong here and this is where I'm supposed to be at. So I really think that I'm thankful for that whole entire journey. I think it makes me even more confident now to step on the field knowing all that I've been through to go out there and perform.
And you weren't here last year. You were. A lot of the talk was the locker room had a great bond, good unity, and all this stuff. And then you have a lot of turnover this year, a lot of new faces. I'm curious about how things have been locker room wise for you compared to where you've been past places, and how things have been from last year to this year at Arkansas for you.
I would say from last year to this year, I don't think we missed a beat, man. I mean, the guys that we brought in, I think they're guys that are meshing well with the culture that we're trying to build, for this upcoming year. It's starting with spring. I think they're on board with it. I think we all have the same mind, and we got the same vision. Obviously, we're going into past this, so we're going to really see who is really bought in. Once we start stacking days, just continuing to hit and pound and see, okay, who's willing to go the distance with us. When we're in week 11, who's going to still be there, demanding the same thing that they're demanding from themselves when they're, all in a great mood and stuff when they're tired. You know what I mean? So I think honestly, right now, I think we're in a great spot, and I think we just got to keep going in the direction that we're trending.
For me, I think, I've been in a couple different schools. I think the biggest thing is having camaraderie with everyone on the team, not just starters or second string. I mean, punters who are walk-ons, everyone. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen here as well. Everyone communicates with everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, and so I think that's the biggest thing. And like they said, they've been treated in the right way. I asked questions on like how it was last year and how it's been this year. Just having tough conversations with coaches and things like that, just being able to grow. And so I think it's trending in the right direction as well.
Stephen, I want to ask you about one more offensive player. Just looking at the other side of the ball with Rohan Jones at tight end, a guy that was very productive at Montana State. You got that one right. At Montana State last year. Your thoughts on him and what he might be able to bring to the table for the other side of the ball?
Yeah, the first 2 practices I've seen, man, he can run routes, and obviously that's probably the most I can see just because, we don't have pads on or whatever. But when it comes to his route running, man, like you can tell he's really good at what he does. I can't wait to see what he does in pass today, man. I mean, I love having that competition when you see a guy that's like, okay, like I got to kind of, scheme up against him a little bit because he has some moves or whatever. But I think he's a great gift for us. I'm really glad we got him, man. He meshes well with the team, like as a person, a player, everything. Like he's what we look for when we want to bring guys in out the portal, man. And I think he has that mentality, like he has something to prove. So really glad he's here.